President Muhammadu Buhari to participate in investment summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. More economic fits with formal unveiling of e-Naira today. Plus, Nigeria showcases innovations at GITEX in Dubai. This and more you get from us on Panorama today. Welcome, I'm Ruth Aguele. President Muhammadu Buhari will today depart for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to participate in the investment conference organized by the Future Investment Initiative Institute. The president will be joined at the 5th edition of the event by business executives from Nigeria, bankers, captains of industry and energy experts to discuss issues on the future of investments across the globe. The three-day event with the theme Investment in Humanity will host global executives and asset managers and deliberate on progress and prosperity in energy, true final frontiers in investments, science in action and impact of climate change on communities, among others. The president will be accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, Director General of National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, and Managing Director of Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Uche Oji. Others on the entourage are Alhaji Mohammed Ndimi, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Tokpe Shanubi, Wale Tinubu, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, Hassan Husman, Omoboye De Olusonya, Abubakar Suleiman, Herbert Wigwe, Leo Stan Eke, Alan Sinfield, and Alhaji Dahiru Mangal. Before returning to the country on Friday, President Buhari will perform the Lesser Hajj in Medina and Makkah. President Muhammadu Buhari is scheduled to formally unveil the Nigerian Central Bank digital currency known as the e-Naira in a couple of minutes, as a matter of fact, at the State House, Abuja today. The launch of the e-Naira is a culmination of several years of research work by the Central Bank of Nigeria in advancing the boundaries of payment systems in order to make financial transactions easier and seamless for every strata of the society. Osita Nwa Nisobi, Director, Corporate Communications of the CBN, in a statement said the e-Naira marks a major step forward in the evolution of money, and the Apex Bank is committed to ensuring that the e-Naira, like the physical Naira, is accessible by everyone. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally declared open the 27th Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. Representing the President, Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo said the economic sustainability plan is yielding results, and the federal government plans a broad-based and inclusive economic plan for sustainable growth and development aimed at uplifting 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years. Let's now join Benny Adams for a situation report.
Well, thank you very much, Studio. Yes, it is the 27th edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit, which is an assemblage of national as well as global leaders in economics and politics. It is all about rebuilding economies from the effects of COVID-19. You agree with me that countries globally have their eyes fixed on the speed and also the process of recovery, and Nigeria is not left out of it. And here we have a speakers here in the conversation that will lead to finding solutions to this recovery, and not just getting for the economy to recover, but also to retain this recovery for sustainable growth. And panelists here have been sharing their views on the way to go for not just Nigeria, but also the African economy. More so that the African continental market is here, and Nigeria has a large market share. So it is about conversations, aggregating conversations that are going to ensure that Nigeria gets to enjoy its market share, its potential being well well expressed. And we have here one of the keynote speakers, former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam. He shared his own views about how Ethiopia's economy is going, courtesy some of the reforms they've been able to put in place. I'm getting to hear from the Minister of Finance talking about Zainab Ahmed. She also talked about the contributions as well as the reforms the Nigerian government have been able to put in place to ensure that the economy gets to where it is today. The recovery process, you will agree with me, is quite fast. It might not just be there yet, but it is a journey that is making great progress. And she said all hands must be on deck, talking about the government, the private sector, and each and every Nigerian must be committed to this recovery process and for sustainable growth.
To realize this future, a paradigm shift is incontrovertible.
Okay, thank you. The conversations continue today and tomorrow, and we have the theme of this as securing our future, the fierce urgency of now. We have like 29 sub-teams where national and global economic leaders will be brainstorming. We hope that at the end of the day, a policy statement will be made where government can adopt and move on from where we are today. Thank you so very much. So we'll let you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Benny, there giving us an update on the 27th Nigerian Economic Summit. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, has accused London-based newspaper The Economist of bias in its assessment of the security situation in Nigeria. In a statement, the presidential advisor agrees that The Economist is correct in noting that Nigeria faces 4 key threats to the stability and prosperity of the nation, namely ISWAP, Boko Haram, terrorism in the northeast, kidnapping and crime in the northwest, herders-farmers disputes in the central belt, and the delusions of IPOP terrorists in the southeast. He also agrees that The Economist is accurate to state that the situation has come to a head under President Buhari and the All Progressives Congress administration. Garba Shehu, however, explains that it is because for so long on the previous administrations, whether military or democratic, tough decisions were ducked and challenges never fully tackled, with the effect of abating these dangers and allowing them all to fester and grow. He affirms that today all 4 threats are being fought concurrently, and it is only this administration that has finally showed the will and determination to confront them. The statement notes that the military is engaged in almost all the states of Nigeria because the president has insisted on addressing these perennial issues during his time in office. The presidential aide added that bandits were inaccurately described by The Economist, stating that bandits who have the resources and technology to shoot down a military fighter jet are not bandits at all, but rather highly organized crime syndicates with huge resources and weaponry. Garba Shehu assures that it will take time, but the president is unwavering in his determination to collapse these security challenges. Minister of Interior Ruth Aguele has reassured of intensified efforts in the manhunt for the escaped inmates of the Nigerian Correctional Service Custodial Center in Oyo Town. Ayomiku Ajibola reports that the minister stated this while assessing the facility.
By the Comptroller General, Nigeria Correctional Service, Minister of Interior Ruth Aguele, while inspecting the level of damage done by gunmen during the attack on the Custodial Center, declared that the federal government will strengthen security at the correctional service centers to combat security challenges confronting them. Security men, according to the minister, will pursue and recapture all inmates who escaped from the Abolongo Custodial Center of the Nigeria Correctional Service, saying their release is a breach of national security.
All the security agencies in the country are on their trail. We shall not rest or tire until we bring the last one in, dead or alive.
We don't have any high-profile inmate. The only person we have is that person who has a case with EFCC. And for your information, he's still with us here.
We have recaptured 378 inmates out of 907 inmates. The number at large is 460 inmates.
On the effort to rebuild the damaged part of the facility, the minister noted that he has directed the Nigerian Correctional Service to immediately begin remediation work. Meanwhile, Governor Seyi Makinde was also at the Abolongo Correctional Center, Oyo, to assess the extent of damage done on the facility.
We're going to position camera here and we will link it back to our security situation room.
The state government, according to him, has directed security agencies to deploy personnel to critical national assets within the state and to monitor all entrance and exit points across the state. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has apprehended a 35-year-old nursing mother at the Edo State Command headquarters of the agency while trying to smuggle 13 grams of loud, that is cannabis sativa, into the cell for a suspect in custody. The substance was concealed inside cassava balls meal, akpu, meant for the suspect, also a relation. The 35-year-old is one out of the 10 suspects arrested during nationwide operations by the NTA, which also led to the seizure of over 2.6 tons of illicit substances to include heroin, methamphetamine, cannabis, tramadol and rohypnol, with Edo State recording the high seizure of 1.7 tons of cannabis. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. Residents and road users in Gwarimpa Housing Estate have appealed to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to, as a matter of concern, address the recurrent challenge posed by potholes littering the access gate and causing untold hardship to the people. Ilyasu Onotu brings us a situation report.
Although most of the road users would not speak on camera, but their lamentations are the same. 3 out of the access roads into and out of Gwarimpa Housing Estate are nightmares, especially during rush hours, morning and night. The situation is worse in rainy seasons, be it at the Federal Housing Gate or Gwarimpa main entrance.
I know that frequently I'm seeing FEMA on the road trying to repair it. But if you repair it 2 months later, the road is bad again.
At the Abuja Model City Gate, traffic here resulting from potholes knows no rush hour.
But for respite, Abdullahi Abubakar here is one on a voluntary service, and he says his motivating factor is part of efforts to support security operatives who are always here day and night in order to ensure that there is free flow of traffic, irrespective of the situation with the road here.
I do it to support them and contribute to Nigeria's growth.
Traffic managers adduce the build-up of traffic at such locations during rush hours to the impatience of some drivers who are in the habit of reckless and uncoordinated maneuver.
A little patience. On the part of all road users that are using those areas, we desire that they exercise some patience as the staff deployed to those locations are managing the traffic.
Once you have a bad situation ahead of you, what you need to do is to slow down and see how you can enter it where the traffic is not heavy.
They urge the authorities to give necessary attention to such failed portions across the city for ease of traffic management. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
So They Can Walk is a compendium of polio eradication in Nigeria, written by Professor of History Christopher Bankole in the BC. Basi Taipang tells us more about the book presentation in Abuja, which is part of activities to mark this year's World Polio Day.
Poliomyelitis is a life-threatening viral illness that spreads through contaminated food and water. It is said to be the most severe symptoms of paralysis, which can lead to permanent disability, breathing difficulty, and can also lead to death. Nigeria in August 25, 2020, through sustained and concerted efforts of government and other partners, joined the League of Countries certified wild polio-free. This journey and the need to sustain a polio-free status is the essence of this book.
We wanted to put in the book how it all started, how we were involved, how the partnership came up, how we woke up one day in Rotary and we look at it and we say, we see something that can be done. And we laid it and we said, let's get partners and let's give a gift to the children of the world.
Part of the partnership we are seeking with you to advocate for parents and caregivers to continue taking their children to healthcare centers to have their routine immunization and to open their doors to vaccinators when they go house to house from time to time.
And you can do it, and you have done it. Wild polio does not exist in Nigeria or Africa, and that has a lot to do with the Rotary Club.
The 7-chapter book, which provides an in-depth analysis of polio and its impact, is aimed at ensuring continuous resource supply to keep polio at zero in the country and out of the world.
The book is in a very rare area of historical studies, medical history.
Rotary kits were on hand to appreciate government and partners for giving them a polio-free world. Basi Taipang, NTA.
If you like the tech, then take it. This is the scenario that played out at the 41st edition of GITEX held at the World Trade Center in Dubai, where over 200 startups and innovators redefined the latest trends and showcased innovations from across the world. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson let us in on what technologies Nigerian startups came to the show with, as he describes it as a tech hive of activities.
Every stand you see in this building has something unique to offer, particularly to solve a certain problem. From AI to 5G, quantum computing, immersive marketing, fintech, blockchain, cybersecurity, the list seems inexhaustible.
The Nigerian startups also came bearing solutions to some problems with their innovative products, as they're engaged stakeholders in the prospects and what their technologies portend for the nearest future.
Farmers in Africa are faced with the problem of financial exclusion. So we created AgriCoin to solve that problem by partnering with the major stakeholders within the agricultural value chain.
Basically, Bridging Space seeks to provide online mental health services. We know that right now in Nigeria, when we found Nigerians are suffering from this so Bridging Space seeks to provide access to support and counseling services.
My product is Chopwork Marketplace. At Chopwork, we're trying to solve two major problems. The first problem is unemployment.
Allow Invest is a digital platform to access ethical financial products and services.
Pole is a transportation app whereby we're able to solve the problem of one chance, as is popularly called in Nigeria.
So EduVR is a virtual reality solution for education that allows students to visualize what they're being taught in the classroom, changing the knowledge.
As they share ideas, learn and unlearn, the hope expressed here is that technology should be driven in such a way that it makes the world so much a better place. From the World Trade Center in Dubai, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thank you, Joseph. Back home for us, the federal government will soon commence the implementation of Animal Identification and Traceability Project, we hear, with a view to addressing conflicts associated with livestock breeding in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu will tell us more.
It is estimated that livestock breeders in the country have lost more than 3 million of their animals to rustlers in the last few years. a development the Federal Ministry of Agriculture says is threatening livestock business in the country. Consequently, the ministry, in partnership with a foreign firm, is introducing an animal identification and traceability system that will help in addressing cases of rustling and illegal movement of animals in the country.
If an animal should enter into a farm and destroy the farm, all the farmer needs to watch out for is the ear tag. The color of the ear tag is tagged to a particular state. So it will be easy for us to trace that animal back to the owner.
And here are representatives of cattle breeders in Abuja being sensitized on the tracking system and how it will be of great benefit to them. Dr. Kabir Abdul Qadir is one of the partners promoting the project.
So what we wanted to do, who owns these cows? How many? Where are you? Let us get your biodata. Let's get your address. So by doing that one, we can be able to say, yes, Nigeria has got this owners of these cows, or got this population of these cows. We can trace now from the birth of a cow up to the market.
The last time government conducted an animal census was in 1991. However, it is believed that the tracking system, if implemented, will provide government with statistics of animals in Nigeria and data of the ones slaughtered daily for consumption. In Abuja, Musa Baba Ali, NTA News.
Tukur Al-Sudi has emerged as the consensus chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Taraba State. Correspondent Adamu Haruna Adams reports that all other officials were elected likewise.
The state party officials emerged through consensus coordinated by a member of the State Congress Committee, Mrs. Rachel Akabio. Newly elected state chairman of the party, Ibrahim Tukur El-Sudi, expressed commitment to lead the party to success in all subsequent elections in Taraba State.
We have come to an agreement that there should be affirmation with minor changes in some offices. Due to the fact that there was so much interest in the future of the party in this state, there was a need to consult with all the critical stakeholders of Taraba State.
The newly elected state officials were sworn in immediately. In Jalingo, Adam Haruna Adams, NTA.
Next, the sports update.
The Nigerian national women's team, Super Falcons, have booked a ticket to the second and